If I were redoing my own destination wedding today, and we're talking a proper destination wedding with a real guest list, maybe 60 to 100 people flying in, $50,000-ish wedding budget, everyone making a weekend out of it, and someone told me I had to choose between Atelier Playa Mujeres and Secrets Moxché, I would honestly need a minute because these two resorts sit in what I think of as the sweet spot of destination wedding properties. They are elevated, adults only, beautifully designed, food-forward resorts that feel sophisticated without tipping into the kind of luxury where suddenly your guests are quietly wondering why they had to refinance their home to attend your wedding. These are the resorts I recommend to couples who care about how the entire weekend feels. The food, the cocktails, the way the resort flows, the way their parents are taken care of, the way their friends stumble into some incredible little bar at midnight and text a group chat saying, okay, this trip was absolutely worth it. And I genuinely love both of these properties. So instead of giving you a quick overview, I want to walk through them the way I do with my couples. We're going to talk about food, cocktails, room tiers, venues, beach, and the kind of couple that tends to fall in love with each one. I'm being super realistic, honest, and blunt, so here we go. The first thing I always tell couples is that these two resorts feel different the moment you arrive. Atelier has this calm confidence to it. The architecture is modern but warm with lots of natural stone, soft neutral tones, contemporary art pieces, and these big open spaces that feel expansive without feeling loud. You walk towards the infinity pool and suddenly the horizon opens up in front of you, like ocean, sky, the soft Caribbean breeze, and the whole place feels serene in a way that's hard to manufacture. And then there's the beach. Playa Mujeres is known for having a wider, calmer stretch of sand than the Playa del Carmen. Now, sargassum can appear anywhere in the Caribbean, depending on the season. Nature does what it wants. But Playa Mujeres generally sees less of it than Playa del Carmen. So that means that your guests are more likely to experience those postcard perfect mornings where they grab coffee, walk the shoreline, and actually get into the ocean. Moxché, on the other hand, greets you with movement. The resort is designed almost like a series of terraces. There are lagoon-style pools layered throughout the property, rooftop spaces everywhere, and water reflecting off different levels as you move through the resort. It feels very dynamic, almost like something interesting is always happening around the next corner. And that difference in energy becomes really important when couples start thinking about how they want their wedding weekend to feel. I get really opinionated with food. So if you were a foodie couple, and I secretly hope you are, because these are you're absolutely my people. The dining conversation matters a lot to me. So Atelier has a dining program that feels genuinely thoughtful. And there are 3 restaurants in particular that I talk about constantly with couples. Takeshi is a Asian restaurant, manages to feel very refined rather than like gimmicky. The sushi is fresh, the flavors are clean. I really love the Mongolian beef, the pad thai. It's just not a typical teppanyaki experience that you'll see in most resorts. Los Abrazos, the steakhouse, feels like a proper steak dinner. Beautifully cooked cuts. I love the lamb. Good wine pairings. It's the kind of place where your dad or your fiance's uncle sit down and immediately decide the resort knows what it's doing. And El Suspiro, their seafood restaurant, is one of my personal favorites, and I think I eat lunch there every time I'm there. Fresh fish, bright citrus flavors, that light coastal feeling that just makes sense when you're on the Caribbean. There's also Maria Dolores, their signature fine dining restaurant, which truly feels chef-driven and elevated. I had a couple where we went through the restaurants one by one, literally menu by menu, and they told me something that stuck with me. They said, We want the food and the cocktails to feel next level. Not just good for an all-inclusive, actually memorable. And that consistency across Atelier's restaurants is what made them choose it. Now, Moxché absolutely holds its own. Restaurants like Bisou, which offers French-inspired cuisine with beautiful plating, Alora, which couples love for rehearsal dinners because it feels warm and welcoming, Suki for Asian fusion, Ember with its wood-fired grill concepts, and Dos Almas for Mexican cuisine all create a really strong dining lineup. One important thing to note here is that Impressions Moxché, the boutique luxury side of the property, does really have incredible dining options, but guests staying at Secrets Moxché do not have access to Impressions. They operate as separate resort experiences. Impressions can go to Moxché, or Impressions can go to Secrets Moxché, but Secrets Moxché can't go to Impressions. So when we're comparing Secrets Moxché and Atelier directly, we compare them at their respective levels. Moxché delivers variety and absolutely beautifully. Atelier edges ahead slightly in that refinements and consistency when it comes to food standards. I'm sorry, not sorry. I just need you to know. Both resorts take cocktails seriously. You're not stuck with sugary neon drinks unless you want them. Atelier's cocktail program feels slightly more curated, and I have to mention the creme brulee martini because it's one of those drinks people remember long after they go home. It has this caramelized sweetness and that silky texture that feels like a dessert in a glass, and it's exactly the kind of cocktail that makes a welcome party feel elevated. But Moxché has something Atelier doesn't: Apothecary. It's a hidden speakeasy style bar tucked away on the property with moody lighting and craft cocktails. It feels like a secret your guests are going to discover halfway through the weekend, and then suddenly everyone is saying, "Have you found the speakeasy yet?" Atelier does have a club, but I would describe it as like, it's not that wild. If your guests want nightlife moments, Moxché definitely has an edge there. Both resorts offer a range of room categories, which is incredibly helpful for weddings. You'll have entry-level rooms that make attending the wedding accessible. Then you have swim-out suites, ocean view terraces, and larger upgraded categories. Atelier offers Inspira, which includes elevated concierge service, special check-in, and access to a more exclusive infinity pool. Moxché offers Preferred Club, which includes upgraded amenities, private lounge areas, and enhanced service touches. This kind of allows you to place parents in an elevated tier so they feel taken care of while still giving other guests flexibility. And currently, Moxché tends to come in slightly lower on room pricing than Atelier, which can be helpful if you're hosting a large group. This is where couples often start to feel the difference between the two resorts. Atelier's venues feel elegant and architectural. The Infinity Pool Terrace is one of the most popular ceremony locations because the ocean becomes this soft, cinematic backdrop behind you. The garden venue is very lush and romantic. The beach ceremonies here are beautiful because the shoreline is wide and very calm. Moxché's venues feel more dramatic. The Sky Terrace ceremony space sits high above the resort with a sweeping ocean backdrop, and it's fully private. I had a couple tell me something that made me laugh, but also kind of made perfect sense. They said, "We want the ocean behind us, but we do not want sand in our shoes." And that's so relatable for me because I can't stand sand. But for them, Moxché's rooftop ceremony was absolutely perfect. What couples love about each resort: couples who choose Atelier tend to be design forward and food focused. They care about great dinners, beautiful cocktails, and a wedding weekend that feels elegant and relaxed. Couples who choose Moxché often want visual drama and energy. They love the rooftop ceremony, the layered venues, and the feeling that the celebration is happening all around them. Neither is better universally. They simply tell two slightly different wedding stories. Here are my final thoughts. Atelier tends to win for food beach quality, and refined atmosphere. Moxché wins for rooftop venue, nightlife, and vibrant energy. If I were choosing personally, I would be deciding between Atelier's food and Moxché's rooftop ceremony. And honestly, that's a pretty wonderful dilemma to have. If you are currently spiraling between resorts like this, which happens to almost every couple, I want you to download my destination wedding workbook below. It helps you identify your top 3 priorities before you fall down the Instagram rabbit hole. My next video is called How to Narrow Down to 3 Resorts Without Spiraling. So if you're planning a 2027 wedding and want real numbers, real strategy, real transparency, you can also book a consultation with me below. Cheers!